Without any harm to the public, Ollie was found 2 days later on zoo grounds. Catherine Warren, District Wire News. The lights are back on at the Washington Monument today. The lights went out briefly on Sunday night. This is the third time in 2 months the lights were out at the 555-foot monument. The reason for the power outage is not known, but it is one of many issues tormenting the 132-year-old symbol of Washington. President Trump is still scrambling to find a candidate to fill the National Security Advisor position for his cabinet. Trump interviewed 4 finalists to replace former advisor Michael Flynn this past Sunday. White House spokeswoman Sarah Sanders tells reporters Trump may meet with some of the candidates again today. Over 100 workers lose their jobs after participating in the Day Without Immigrants protest last Thursday. Restaurants, construction companies, and even students protested President Trump's controversial immigration policies. Social media users are now calling on others to boycott those businesses that fired immigrant workers. Police are still searching for a girl who's been missing for 4 days. 16-year-old Talisha Coles was last seen on Thursday on the 1000th block of Maryland Avenue in Northeast D.C. Police are encouraging anyone with information to call the Youth and Family Services Division at 202-576-6768. Hello, I'm Catherine Warren, and this is a District Wire News Update. The traditional May Day March in support of workers' rights and labor unions is taking on added significance in Washington, D.C. this year. The march is expected to draw larger than normal crowds because of President Trump's crackdown on immigration. Some local businesses have closed to allow workers to attend the march. The march will take place later this afternoon, and protesters are expected to walk from DuPont Circle to the White House. Drivers will soon have to pay up to find parking on the National Mall. 1,200 spaces around the mall are currently free, but soon it will cost $2 per hour to park your car. The National Park Service will have meters installed and working on all of these spaces by June 12th. The Park Service says they are taking this measure to reduce traffic and make travel more efficient. A man is facing felony charges for leading police on a chase and hitting an officer in Tacoma Park. The man, who has not been identified, walked out of a Maryland hospital after being admitted for psychological evaluation. Tacoma Park police say that he went to the hospital with family members and eventually locked himself in a relative's car. When the police tried to remove him from the car, he sped off, running over an officer's foot. It's your last chance to check out the popular Infinity Mirrors exhibit at the Hirshhorn Museum. Today is the last day to get tickets for the Japanese artist Yayoi Kusama's exhibit. It has been a huge hit on social media, so make sure to take a selfie in one of the iconic rooms. The exhibit will close May 14th. Passes for the last week are available now. I'm Catherine Warren, and this has been a District Wire News Update. Thanks for watching, and have a good afternoon. Thank you, Mirshai, and it's definitely been an exciting start to the playoff season. We have the Washington Capitals, who just beat out the Toronto Maple Leafs in a 2-1 overtime victory to advance to the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. And in basketball, the Washington Wizards are looking to take a 3-1 lead over the Atlanta Hawks. With a Game 3 win tonight, the Wizards could come back to D.C. and have the opportunity to close out the series in front of their home crowd. And in baseball, the Washington Nationals are on a 3-city, 10-game tour, and they just finished their second consecutive series sweep with the win over the New York Mets on Sunday night. With the best record in baseball, they head to Colorado to take on the Rockies. And the Washington Redskins haven't had the best offseason, but they did lose Pierre Garçon and Deshaun Jackson. And that was the weird dismissal of Scott McCloughan, the general manager. But with the NFL draft coming up, Redskins fans can be rest assured that Dan Snyder and Bruce Allen won't let this offseason be a complete bust. Bao Bao the giant panda is having an ice cream cake for the last part of her send-off before departing for China tomorrow. D.C. residents and people from out of state have come to say goodbye. Natalie Hutchinson has more on the story. Temperatures are rising this week in the district after a warm February weekend. Temperatures are expected to jump back up Wednesday through Friday, beating previous February heat records. A high of 75 degrees is expected for Friday. In light of the immigration ban, many universities around D.C. are advising their students on how to deal with the implications of the ban. Zain Al-Mahawes reports. Norma McCorvey, also known as Jane Roe in Roe v. Wade, died Saturday at the age of 69. Ms. Rowe was the force behind the Roe v. Wade Supreme Court decision. Mershai Salou reports. As crowds gathered outside of the White House on election night, they waited in the dark to learn who would be the next president. At midnight, states began to fall into the Trump win column, and Clinton supporters like Beth Mays began to worry.
I'm extremely stressed out. We came down here tonight thinking that by this time we would be celebrating a historical election. So it's been a bit of a letdown and a bit of a somber occasion.
This is what America looks like.
With emotions rising, the crowd of mostly college students cheered, and some even climbed trees. Around 1:30 a.m., as Trump is projected to win the presidency, his supporters grew more vocal. Trump supporter Phil Bell said he is
ecstatic. This is the first time since 1980 that the grassroots have elected a president, overcome all the odds, and this is just a terrific night.
While Trump supporters celebrated the victory, panic set in among Clinton supporters like Alexis Valdivinos.
It's unfortunate. It's honestly painful as a minority myself to see this happen tonight, but I guess it's the will of the American people, and I will respect that election decision no matter what.
Although the crowds outside of the White House had different political beliefs, some, like Trump supporter Hugh Atkinson, called for unity.
The biggest thing that we've got to do, especially in the next few weeks, is to try to reunify the country. You need to have some kind of unity, and it's something we're going to have to work on.
Others celebrated, and the rest tried to make sense of what just happened in America. Katherine Warren at the White House, beltwaynews.org.
All the teams I had, we weren't amazing. We didn't win every game, but we left everything we had out on the field.
Let's go! Thank you, officials! Thank you, fans! Let's go, varsity!
Yeah. Catherine Cook. I played field hockey from 8th grade through 12th grade at T.C. Williams, and I played lacrosse from my sophomore year to my senior year at T.C. Williams. It feels good. Alexandria is a small city, and it's very, very small community, so it's really great being back with a lot of the same coaches. A lot of the coaches I coach with also I played with when I was in school. And the school's the same. The kids are the same. They're a lot of fun. It's kind of interesting seeing things from the other side now. I know like how I was when I was a player and seeing how these girls are, and it's just funny seeing like I used to be in those shoes and now I'm in charge.
Don't get a pass, cut back out, guys, okay? We don't want to crowd the same area either. We got a little crowded yesterday also. And on defense, if you're waiting by the 12, you're not just waiting there kind of like flat-footed. You're ready, you're kind of mirroring where they're going, right? But you're not pushing forward.
Starting off, especially since I coach the freshman and JV teams, I get a lot of the 8th and 9th graders who are brand new to the sports. So it's starting from basic fundamentals and working our way up from there. And it's challenging for some of the girls. Practices are a lot of fundamentals, and it's hard to get into a lot of the other skills we need until we can get those down. Also, just getting the girls to focus a little bit more now, you know, with social media and everything out there, and school is a little bit stressful for them. They've got a lot going on, so trying to bring them to practice and get them focused on what we're doing and not chit-chatting in drills and everything has been a little bit of a challenge.
Be careful with that because you're going in and popping up the ball. At that time, it almost worked to your advantage, but you got to get it up and in, right? You keep
knowing that you're making a difference, even if you don't see it every day, that you're influencing these girls in a positive way and being a role model for them. And I have players that I coached a few years ago who are in college now that I still keep in contact with. And just knowing they're doing well and knowing that you had a role in that is very rewarding.